Okay, so welcome back to some more MX versus ATV All Out. Today we're going to be going over a new feature, a change, I guess, to the game that I got the chance to check out early that will release with the patch with the new DLC that will be coming out that they've been teasing, the motocross tracks. So there's a bunch of stuff in it. There's two things in particular I kind of want to go over, and the first one being the new ground physics. So the new ground physics, I think when this update goes out, I believe that there's going to be quite a few people that do notice a change, but there's going to be some people that don't. It's kind of a subtle change, and I don't really know how to explain it. For me, where I notice it the most is through the corners. I mean, you still feel all the bumps and acceleration bumps, braking bumps, and just where the track's breaking up in general. You still feel all of that. It's not like that's going to change. It's still the way the terrain deforms, and for the most part, the way the bike reacts down like straightaways and stuff where it just gets really rough. I mean, I notice a difference there, but I don't notice too much of a difference there. Where I notice the difference is through the corners. So, you know, before, especially when the track would start to break apart, every little bump or any little tiny imperfection in the corner, I guess, it just kind of made your bike bounce around, and the way the bike reacted felt kind of funny once in a while. I mean, not always, but it did happen sometimes, and it just kind of felt like you were bouncing off of a brick wall sometimes. It didn't feel like dirt, I guess. And now with this new update that will be coming out, updating the ground physics, is the bike can just track through the corner so much better. It's not bouncing around as much. Now, here we do a full lap on the national track, and this lap doesn't count completely because the track was fresh. And even before the update, when the track is fresh, you don't notice it as much. I mean, I do notice it. I think it makes a fresh track even more easy to ride around the first lap than it was before. But where I noticed it most was into lap 2, 3, and 4, especially running with the AI, and that's why we're using the AI, because the track breaks up better and they start to form ruts better, and we can kind of hit those and test it out and see what it looks like. But think of it like this: the track is going to deform the same as it always was, and where you're going to notice it most is through the corners. You're still going to hit all the braking bumps, all the acceleration bumps. If you push through a rut way too hard, you're going to push over it. You still have to hit the rut right. You still have to get into the rut. It's just when you get in the rut, it's easier to stay in the rut. And even on this fresh lap, I just thought of that before, with a fresh track, you could still bounce off the rut. So if you came in too hot, you bounced off the rut, and that's not so much what bothered me, but you did it even at a lower speed. So it's not just like, oh, you were going too fast and you bounced off of it. It was just really, it was like a ping pong ball. You just were bouncing off of a ping pong ball against a bunch of metal poles is what it felt like, and it just smoothed it out. It makes the bike soak it up a lot better, and I think for the most part people are going to enjoy it. And lap times, in my opinion, are going to be are going to be faster across the board. So if you take the slowest people in the game and the fastest people in the game, I think lap times are just going to be faster overall, because it's easier to hit good lines or big lines consistently because of this. And then we're going to switch over here to just a few different edits to where the track is starting to break up, and you can get into that rut. It feels better when you get into the rut now as opposed to before. Even no matter everything was done perfect, you hit the rut just right, it feels like it was pushing you around. And I know a lot of people were complaining about the ground physics, and some people had figured it out. I think the people that play a lot and have really, really gotten used to the way the ground physics are going to be the ones that notice it the most. They're going to notice it, even if it's pretty subtle, and it is a pretty subtle change. And like I said already, that I think there's going to be some people that I guess really don't notice too much. So overall, I think it's a good change, and it's a small adjustment. Who knows? Maybe later they'll adjust more, but for now, this is a small enough adjustment that I believe it's going to be a positive, and I think most people are going to enjoy it or not even notice too much, because it's small, and where you're going to notice it, I mean, I noticed it a little bit down the straights, but really the only place I really, really noticed it was in the corners. Now that being said, you can, I mean, down the straightaways, you still do feel all the bumps on the track and the rough spots, and you know, with the goat form, the way the terrain deformation works, you're still feeling that. So you can still, when you hit those bumps, you're still gonna, it's not gonna be smooth. It's not like you're just gonna plow right through it, and your back wheel's still gonna kick up, and you know, you can still endo even. I mean, all that is still in the game. It's just mainly through the corner you have much more consistency. It feels like the bike's more grounded. Does that make sense? It feels like the bike is more grounded. Now, this update will be affecting the entire game. It's not just the GOAT form and new DLC. It's going to be a part of the entire game. So the base game, all DLC now, and future, it's going to be game-wide. It's going to affect the entire game. And one of the other things I want to talk about is the frame rate performance that supposedly is going to be in this next patch. So it sounds like this is going to drastically improve frame rate on consoles, I guess. On consoles, because I play on PC, so I play in max settings and have zero lag, and it runs really good for me. And so I have no complaints about frame rate or anything like that. So, but I do have it on PlayStation, and I do know that on PlayStation frame rate can be inconsistent still. It's not where it needs to be, and I know that upsets a bunch of people still. So it sounds like this is going to be a pretty big frame rate boost, and it'd be great if they could achieve that solid 30 at least. And I mean, I don't really know what it's like on PS4 Pro or Xbox One X. I'm just speaking from like an OG PS4 standpoint. That when I still play that game there, it still isn't performing at the frame rate that I want it to, you know what I mean? So if you're on like a original Xbox One or an original PlayStation, I think this patch is going to be more for you, because from what I understand, it runs pretty good on Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. It's just like the OG consoles that are struggling sometimes. So yeah, I think that's about it. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.